Let's start this video out with a look at the bridge being built over the Florida Turnpike at County Road 470. First up, we see these 4 pipes coming out of the ground. This is the mystery location where the supposed golf cart tunnel under the turnpike was going to be built that somebody else reported. As you can see, on the east side, they've got the wall and ground built up to support the bridge. And on the west side, they're doing the same thing. They've also put pilings in the center of the turnpike. The current indications are that there won't be golf cart lanes going across this bridge. It does have the wide shoulders, just like the north span of the Warm Springs Bridge does up by the Everglades Recreation Center. This is just part of the road standards that have been adopted by the state of Florida. This additional span is all part of the grand plan to widen 470 from Chandler Road in the village of Dabney all the way to US 301. Moving just a little bit more to the west, this is more of the construction of the 4-lane section of County Road 470 in Lake County. As we fly further down the road, we see 2 multimodal tunnels going underneath the road and an intersection coming up where it looks like there'll be a traffic light. The presence of this intersection, the way it's configured, definitely indicates additional growth and expansion in this area of the Lake County section of the villages. This construction work continues to McNeil Drive by Fire Station 49, where there's a traffic circle. 470 then turns north onto McNeil Drive for a short ways, and then turns west again at another traffic circle on Central Parkway. That intersection under construction is likely where Central Parkway directly connects to County Road 470, was part of the original plans from about 6 years ago, before things fell apart with the University of Florida to put a teaching hospital at this location. I have to pause here for just a moment to let the traffic clear before I fly over County Road 470. This large triangular section of land bordered on the south by County Road 470, the east side by the turnpike, and the west side by the power lines along the county line is all Lake County, and this is where the hospital, as far as I know, is still intended to go. What else they're going to build there? Anybody's guess at this point. It was all zoned for commercial and mixed use, so we'll see what happens. Just looking at how they're building the intersection and some of the other stuff going on, I think there's still something coming here. They just haven't tipped their hat on any of this information yet. But as soon as I can get my hands on some verifiable information, I'll let everybody know in another video. Let's take a big jump over to the west side of the lower portion of the villages, where the new 7-Eleven is being built at Warm Springs Avenue and US 301. It looks really good on the outside. They're doing interior work. When is it going to open? It's hard to say, but as you can see, the pumps are ready. They're doing a lot of finishing work. If I had to guess, sometime around the new year, and that's based on how long it took them to get the 7-Eleven opened up at County Route 466A and the one on State Road 44A. As we go around the backside, we can see the car wash and workers working on the roof area. This gas station is certainly needed in this area because the next nearest gas station is the other 7-Eleven at Magnolia Plaza, or you have to go up 301 to the north to where the turnpike is, or go all the way into Coleman. There's not a whole lot out this way, so this is definitely going to be an advantage. Will it be golf cart accessible? At this point, no, but who knows what's going to happen with the rebuild of US 301 when they put the traffic light in at the intersection of Warm Springs and 301. We'll have to watch and see. Coming up next, I have a then and now segment that covers the villages of Wellpoint, Oak Hollow, Edenfield, and LaGrange, and what it looks like now and what it looked like 4 years ago.
So we all know when people move into their homes, especially in Florida, we're limited for storage space. So what we do is we come in and help create storage space by maximizing what is currently available in their kitchens and their closets and other rooms. So a few of the things that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer, and our attention to detail is second to none. If you're looking to transform your kitchen, closet, or any other space in your home, give us a call or check out our website to book an appointment.
start this then and now segment out at Monarch Grove, where Corbin Trail comes out of Monarch Grove and passes through the village of Wellpoint. As you can see on the left side of the screen, when this area first started out, there was basically nothing here. It was all just pasture land, and there was some cattle on there grazing, but that was about it. There was actually very little water here also. Now they've added a bunch of retention ponds and some, let's call them lakes, because that's really what they are, for the golf courses. So there's now a lot of water in this area. In the left screen, you can see they were starting to prep the ground for the first set of homes to go in there. But the widening of Marsh Bend Trail, that has just started, and the traffic circle at Marsh Bend Trail and McNeil Drive wasn't even started yet either. The road on the left side of each screen is McNeil Drive. McNeil Drive will continue south and then turn west again until it hits County Road 471, about a mile north of Bevel's Corners, which is the intersection of County Road 471 and State Road 48. Coming up on the left side of McNeil Drive is the Laurel Oak Executive Course and Live Oak Pitch and Putt Golf Course Maintenance Area, as well as the Saint-Tropez Village Recreation Center. The footage in the right screen was shot between 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning to try and minimize the traffic and people that were on the ground while I was flying. It was also shot at about half the original speed of the video on the left to give me more time to anticipate where traffic and people were going to be. This, of course, led to some huge problems in getting things synchronized. There isn't a lot of landmarks in the screen on the left to synchronize the screen on the right to. So this took many, many hours to get all synced up to look as good as it does right now. And even looking at this, you can tell it's not exactly perfect. Coming up is the Bexley Bridge. As you can see in the left screen, it was just starting to be built. The old Bailey Bridge is still in place. It was called the Bailey Bridge because that was the name of the family that owned the farmland that was bifurcated by the turnpike, and part of the agreement for taking their land was to build a bridge over the turnpike so that their cattle could get to the other side for grazing. That's the village of Case and Hammock at the top of the screen. The white line on the left side of the turnpike that's now a green line of bushes is where the Sable natural gas pipeline runs alongside of the turnpike. It's because of this same pipeline that when you look at the Bexley Bridge and the Water Lily Bridge, there's that small open span on the left side of the turnpike that shows up, and that's so they could maintain the pipeline. As we continue to fly over the Laurel Oak and Live Oak courses, you see these bodies of water. On the left, they didn't exist. In fact, there was no bodies of water south of 468 in this whole area that's occupied by Linden, Monarch Grove, Oak Hollow, LaGrange, Edenfield, all of that. There was nothing. It was just pasture land. Now there's lots of wetlands, and there's alligators in just about every one of these ponds now. How they get there, it's beyond me. Obviously, they're doing a lot of traveling. As we continue to fly over the village of Wellpoint, you see this large parking lot in the very center of the right screen. That's for the Street of Dreams. That's where it's located now. 6 months from now, it'll be down in Long Prairie, but we'll get to Long Prairie a little bit later in the video. Now we're heading south over Oak Hollow. The road passing through the center of the screen on the right is Corbin Trail. As you can see on the left, there was nothing. It was still another year away before they cut in this road. Coming up is the Blanchard Recreation Center and the clubhouse for the newly opened Woodlands Championship Golf Course. Beyond the Blanchard Recreation Center, you can see the village of LaGrange and Central Lake. In the left side, Central Lake didn't exist, it was still a dream. We'll rotate around now and we'll head back north over the village of Oak Hollow. Once again, you can see multiple lakes and retention ponds where there was nothing before. The last 4 years has seen a lot of changes in this area. During that time also, I've heard much lamenting by longtime residents of Sumter County about the growth of the villages and how things are disappearing. You can't just blame the villages, though. It takes two people to make a transaction, and they should have been the ones buying the land from the previous owner instead of the villages. That would have kept it preserved, but they didn't. So now we have the villages continuing to grow, and it will continue to grow as long as there's available land and people are willing to sell it. And with this growth has come many thousands of jobs for residents of Sumter and surrounding counties. I hope you've enjoyed this then and now segment. Let's move on now to the area just to the west of Bexley Trail.
Nova Filters has been the go-to choice for high-quality whole home water filtration, serving over 20,000 homes and customers. Have you considered the benefits, such as removing chlorine sediment, microplastics, and forever chemicals? For great tasting water and to eliminate hard water and unsightly buildup of calcium deposits, call us today. We have a 5-star Google rating, are NSF certified, and are the only water filter company that allows you to taste before you buy. Don't just take our word for it. Ask your neighbors and stop by our showroom to taste the difference.
This is the traffic circle at Bexley Trail and McNeil Drive, just south of the Bexley Bridge. We'll go up a little bit and rotate around, and we're going to follow McNeil Drive down a ways. You can see that this phase of McNeil Drive is now under construction. It's probably a year away from being completed, and the rest of the surrounding area that we're going to be flying through in this segment is probably at least a year and a half away before they start building houses or at least start selling lots. You can see that the water mains, both potable and reclaimed water, are being laid in along the roadbed. This continues on all the way down till it meets up with Central Parkway. We'll see a little bit more of that in another segment. You can see, though, that they have built the retention ponds, the lakes that are going to be part of the Meadows Golf Course in this area. This one lake here with the thumb that sticks out into the water looks like it's going to present itself as a very challenging green when we start to golf on it. Once again, very large retention ponds in this area. They're starting to lay in the deep utilities, the stormwater drains and sewage mains on many of the streets in the southernmost portions of this area. They'll move north as they continue this process until all the deep utilities are laid in. In the upper left is the village of Edenfield, and you can see how things have really exploded in this area. We'll continue now back to the traffic circle, and then we'll start up here at the north end of Edenfield and follow Bexley Trail down. These homes here are more of the garden villas that they did over in Wellpoint. We'll continue on to the south, and you can see many of these homes are nearing completion. When we get farther south yet, now we get into the village of LaGrange, which started selling a few weeks ago, but construction is just now getting rolling on many of the spec homes. By the New Year's, this area will be bustling with construction work as they continue to build in the village of LaGrange, and then continue to move south into the village of Lakeview. As we come around and head more to the south, we get a quick peek at Eastport, but we'll get more into Eastport in the next segment. We'll continue to rotate around. This is now Corbin Trail. You can see the initial track for it as it continues to wind its way over to McNeil Drive once again. Many people don't understand what our bond goes for when we buy a house. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at it. It's this work to turn this raw land into something that can be turned into a community. The streets, the utilities, the retention ponds, all of this has to be done before they can start building homes. Many say, well, the developer should pay for this. Well, the developer doesn't pay for anything. The developer invests money into the product, and you get to pay for everything that was invested to build the house that is your home. That's where the bond comes from. You're going to pay it one way or the other. The big difference with the bond is it's kept separate, and it allows better cash flow for the developer so that they can build things like golf courses, recreation centers, and the rest of the amenities that we come to expect with our community. This area that we've been flying over for the last few minutes is all part of CDD 16. And yes, CDD 16's bonds will be higher than any bonds we've seen in the past. And when they start building CDD 17, their bonds are going to be higher than that too. Why? Inflation. The cost of everything keeps going up. If you don't think that's the case, just think back 10 years ago when you bought a new car or you went out to dinner. Prices go up. That cost has to be covered. The next phase of Corbin Trail is on our right as we fly to the west towards the Farragut Ball Fields in Eastport. Here we see more of the deep utilities going in along the roadbeds. I'll circle around now to the area just north of Corbin Trail, and once again we see these large retention ponds. These large retention ponds really are a better idea than the way things were done north of 44. The larger ponds hold more water, they don't change level as much, but they also cost less in the long run because there's fewer piping and pumping requirements needed to manage the same amount of water. It also yields much nicer water view lots than if you have just a small retention pond. Here's that retention pond again with the thumb that sticks into it. Again, I believe this is going to be where the green is for one of the holes in the Meadows Championship Golf Course, which means when I play, I'm going to have to bring a few extra balls because I know I'm going to lose them in the water. We'll head back now towards Eastport at the top of the screen. This whole infrastructure and land preparation process for a new area to be developed takes about 2 years. So they've got about another 1.5 years in this area before they'll be ready to start building houses. All right, so let's jump on over to Eastport and see all the things that are happening there now that Eastport has started to open up. Let's face it, we're not as young as we once were. Climbing those old-fashioned attic stairs to get the Christmas decorations down or to stow those family treasures is just too dangerous. Majic Stairs is the safer alternative. Real steps with safety rails at a safer angle and safety rails in the attic provide the safest attic access available. Having troubles getting things to and from the attic? The Majic Attic Lift can be there to help. Designed by Villages resident Ron Berner, every Majic Stairs and Majic Attic Lift is custom built in their Ocala, Florida factory and installed by their technicians. Why take chances? For less than the cost of one emergency room visit, you can have Majic Stairs installed in your home. Majic Stairs, the safer, more convenient alternative. The first big thing to open up in Eastport is Prime and Ember. It's another FMK restaurant, and I gotta tell you, I ate there once already. Fred Karmapour really outdid himself. They also have this upper level bar and patio area, which will be for dining and drinks. This, I'm sure, is going to be a great hit, especially when they start having live music on the stage just below. A little to the east of Prime and Ember is this blue building. This is where Oak and Stone is going to be. This is going to be a, what would you call it? A bar and eatery? I guess that's a fair name for it. It's supposed to have some interesting dishes as well as some high-end liquors for your enjoyment at this establishment. Looking in the windows, though, they're still basically dirt. They haven't started any interior work. It's still several months away from opening, but we'll keep an eye on it as things progress. This building with the stone facade is a tacos and tequila restaurant. Work has started on the interior. You can see some of the workers coming out of it as they were working inside earlier during the day. I don't know about you all, but tacos and tequila sound like a pretty good combination to me. This tower section at the corner also appears to be part of Tacos and Tequila. What's going to be in here? I don't know, but it looks like a very interesting place. This is looking to the north at the bridge that crosses over to Sunset Island, but the item of interest here is just beyond it, this playground that they've built for children. Obviously, this is meant for when you bring the grandchildren down to Eastport with you to give them something to do while you're enjoying the music. Looks very nice. It's got one of those rubberized decks to make it safer for the kids, so hopefully they'll enjoy it. Here we have the LaGrange Postal Station and Recreation Area. But the real interesting area is this just beyond it, that's under construction. You can see the construction vehicles working there. they've put in the underground drainage. There's been a lot of controversy on what this is going to be. Well, this is Unit 516. It's a courtyard villa community. This is what the plans look like for Unit 516. I've colored the plans so you can more easily differentiate the lots in this area. As you can see, there are many large lots, even waterfront lots, that are suitable for a pool in a courtyard villa community. Kind of a rare thing, but not unheard of. We'll pass back over the LaGrange Postal Station and Recreation Area, and then turn north and go over a part of the Woodlands Championship Golf Course. This is the second hole. And now we're looking at the village of LaGrange, and you can see there's already foundations in place, and homes are being built at a good pace here. It won't be long until there's roofs everywhere, and pretty soon you won't recognize it. It won't be this vast open area anymore. It'll be a complete community. As we go a little farther to the north, we come into the village of Edenfield, and then we'll turn back around and head south again. There's still quite a few lots in the village of LaGrange available. Most of them are interior lots. They're not view lots, but they do offer the ability to purchase the lot and then put a custom home on it. Something that in years past wasn't really available. You either bought a really expensive view lot and built a custom home, or you bought a spec home. Black Dog Garage Floors, the best flooring choice for your garage. 3/8 inch thick copolymer interlocking textured tiles made in the USA gives your garage that custom look everyone will love, and all for about the same price or less as those pretty paint jobs. Available in a variety of colors and installs in hours, not days. This tough, easy to clean flooring system is resistant to most solvents, battery acid, gas, oil, and moisture, and even if it does get damaged, it's easily repairable by simply replacing a tile. Black Dog Garage Floors. It's not just another pretty paint job. We're back in Eastport now, and I wanted to show you something that's kind of unique in the town squares. You'll see these dots on the ground. These are actually bollards that lift up to block cars from going in there, cars and golf carts. So that way, the entire entertainment area is blocked from having cars and golf carts. This leaves more space for people to stand around, set up chairs, and enjoy the music and the entertainment that's going on in the square. This is a new thing they've tried. We'll see how it works out. I think it's a pretty good idea. They're going to gain a whole lot of entertainment area on the waterfront by doing this. They've had them up and additional barricades in place for the last week, blocking cars from going in the downtown area. We'll see if they lower them anytime soon. We're now down almost as far south as you can get in the age-restricted portion of the villages, where the village of Long Prairie is being built. We'll turn back around and we'll see the Beautyberry and Honeysuckle executive golf courses, as well as what appears to be a courtyard villa community that's under construction. The golf courses themselves are starting to look really good. This area, as best I can figure, will probably open up for sale of lots and homes sometime in late January, maybe early February. Just depends on how things go in the village of Lakeview and those homes being sold there. It's also my understanding that both the Street of Dreams and the Lifestyle Preview homes will be moving down to the Long Prairie area. This seems to be consistent with what we've seen over the last couple of years. As they continue to move in different areas, they move the Lifestyle Preview homes, they also move the Street of Dreams. We'll fly back now to the northwest corner of Bush Boulevard and Marsh Bend Trail, where you can see on the ground the outline and the parking lot for the Mustang Recreation Center that's being built. This is another village recreation center like Franklin, Saint-Tropez, or Saluki. We'll take a closer look at the Mustang Recreation Center, and then we'll rotate around following Bush Boulevard as it goes all the way up to Central Parkway. After that, we'll turn back around, we'll take a look at the stockpile yard that's being hauled away, and then fly back to where we started at the intersection of Marsh Bend Trail and Bexley Trail.
Hi, I'm Jeff Monash with Village Air Filters. Are you tired of wasting money on throwaway paper air filters? I can save you money with my lifetime permanent washable air filters. Just buy it once and never buy another air filter again. Rinse it out and then just slide it right back in. My filters are custom made in the US and they have a lifetime warranty. Give me a call at 352-388-1230 or visit my website at villageairfilters.com.
This is starting out from McNeil Drive and heading to the west towards the Mustang Recreation Center. So now we're getting a look at it from the opposite direction that we just looked at it. Then we'll rotate around, and as we rotate around, we'll get a look at the intersection of McNeil Drive and Marsh Bend Trail and what's going on there. In this location right here, recent public filings show that a regional recreation center is going to be built in this location. Let's take a look at a different map. Here it is again, and you can see where it's at in relation to Eastport, about 2¼ miles to the southwest. This is a blow up of the area. You can see the dark green is a dog park, a swimming pool, the light green are the different courts, and the orange is the recreation center, and of course we have a long walking path. Let's continue on now. We'll continue to rotate around and then head to the northeast where we see some wetlands area, a large retention pond, and then up ahead, the location of another executive golf course being built in this area. There are two. The second one is farther north. We're not going to go up into that area, but you can see it as the big white area to the north of the track in the map in the lower left corner. The building you see on the ground is the golf course maintenance area, and you can also see a cul-de-sac for another unit of residential properties. Whether they'll be designer homes or premier homes, it's anybody's guess at this moment. We'll have to keep a closer eye on it. We're going to rotate back around and head back to the south again. Here you can see the road going off into more of the residential areas and Bush Boulevard. Once again, the retention ponds in this section of the villages are very large, and it makes them much more economical to operate and to build. Now, coming up is something that I couldn't figure out at first, but it looks like it's going to be an observation area for the wetlands areas that border up to it. It's this square area jutting out. We'll get a closer look. There's also a lift station there, but it looks like they've also made provisions for people viewing here. Now we're up at the north end of the villages at the Paradise Recreation Center. You can see the area has been cleared. They've done the layouts for the foundations. Now this was taken about a week ago, and my understanding is they've started building some of the walls for the Paradise Recreation Center. So maybe the foundation's already in. I haven't been up there in a couple of days, but you can see that they're making big progress, and it's going to be a huge recreation center. Moving on. This is the Hamlin Hotel. That's the Middleton High School in the background. I've sped this up about 10 times normal speed so you can watch what's going on. They're doing a lot of work on this. They're putting in the decking for the second floor and getting ready to build the third floor for this 150-room hotel. that will support the athletic activities at the high school and the state-of-the-art sports complex that they've built there. Let's move on now and go a little bit to the north here in Middleton and take a look at the Publix that's being built in downtown Middleton. That's Landstone Boulevard in front of us. And here you can see they've been doing a lot of groundwork. They have the roads laid out. They've put in curbing. They're doing a bunch of underground stuff right now. So it won't be long until they pour the foundation and then start working on the walls. This is the second to the last segment of this video. What we're looking at now is the site work going on for the new Church at the Springs church that's being built just to the south of the high school complex. You can see the high school complex at the top of the screen. We'll rotate around and then head towards the newest section that's being built of Middleton. This is Bar Boulevard here. We're going to go see the bridge that they've built across the Dry Creek bed, and then another pedestrian bridge that's being built across the Dry Creek bed. The line of trees at the top of the screen is the Dry Creek bed. It transports water from the southern end of the county up to Lake Pennsauken. As we continue on, we see the bridge that's been built as a 2-lane bridge plus a multimodal path that goes on to this next section of Middleton, the family area being built by the Villages. We'll rotate to the south now and head down to where they're building a multimodal path across the Dry Creek bed. It's still not done yet, but you can see progress is being made. As always, I ask you, please support my sponsors as they support me in making these videos. Without their support, these videos simply wouldn't be possible. Thank you all for watching, and remember, life is short, power is fleeting. Physical beauty only lasts a short while, and all those who live long enough will become weak and vulnerable at some point. So let us be humble and help the sick, the weak, and the vulnerable. And one day, we all will have to exit this stage. So let us do it with humility, dignity, honor, and the knowledge that through our actions, we have left this world a better place. I'm Don Wiley. Have a great day. Now stick around for a close-up flight of Eastport done at night. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks for sticking around. Now here's a flight of Eastport, done at night. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you enjoy it. it.